Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Lake County Sentinel Sports Extra Cleveland Cavaliers post-game report for the season opener. Cavaliers at the Knicks. The Cavs, they did not look great tonight. I think a lot of the injuries attributed to that. It was I can't say it was disappointing because I think that they do have some guys out right now. New York is a hostile place to go and play. It's the opening night of the season. And let's face it, the NBA really, they're happy when the Knicks win the opener. And I'm gonna say it, and I don't care if the NBA doesn't like it. We all know it's true. We all know that the New York Knicks get all of the calls at home. As soon as the Cavs tied that game up late in the third quarter, you absolutely knew that the fourth quarter was going to absolutely be called in favor of the New York Knicks. I cover this Cavs team every day, of the season. I cover all the home games. And you don't see that kind of crap happening in Cleveland. You don't. But everybody knows that the New York Knicks always get the calls at home. They always get the calls at home. Tonight was no different. Tonight was predictable. The fourth quarter, the Knicks shot 13 free throws. The Cavs shot 6. There we go. The game was tied, right? Heading into the fourth quarter. So what happens? That's what we'll do. We'll call the calls so the Cavs cannot win the game. They're going to give it. They gave the game to the Knicks, and everybody knows they gave the game to the Knicks. Even some of the ESPN guys, of course, not Mike Breen, New York Honk, and New York Knicks broadcaster Mike Breen, who calls Knicks games on ESPN, which is absolutely ridiculous. Of course, he wasn't saying that it looked bad, even though he knew it. He knew it was. Of course, to him it looked great because his employer was winning. But it was terrible. It was the typical NBA. I'm sorry. The NBA can lie and say that this isn't how it is. They can. They can lie. They can say a bunch of bullshit, or what they do is they'll do their stupid inside 2-minute garbage crap tomorrow and say, yes, we got 5 calls wrong. Yeah. Well, what good does that do the team the next damn day? Seriously. What good does it do them the next day when you admit you screwed the calls up? You didn't screw the calls up. Your officials were making the calls you want them to make in New York, giving the Knicks the advantage like you have done for 80 years. This has always been the narrative, and it will always be the narrative. We will cheat for New York and Boston. The NBA has done that for decades, and every single person who watches the NBA knows it. The Cavs did not play well. So they probably didn't deserve to win the game anyway. But who knows? They might have been able to win the game if the game was called in a fashion. Go by the rules. The same things for both teams. It never is in the NBA. It never is. I'm not the only one. You get coaches that complain about it. Rick Carlisle, 2 years ago in the playoffs. After game 1, he called the league out about the officiating against the Knicks. What happened? 2 years in a row now, the Pacers beat the Knicks in the playoffs. This year they were better. I agree. But the year before, there was no way after he called them out that the NBA could do those shenanigans. They couldn't do it because he called them out. They were hard at work with their shenanigans tonight again. They were hard at work. I usually don't make excuses for the Cavs. The Cavs were shorthanded. Let's play this exact game when the Cavs are full strength. Cavs win it by 20, even with the terrible officiating. Even with the terrible officiating, if the Cavs are at full strength, they didn't have Mitchell Robinson. Big deal. That guy's overrated. Big deal. Big deal. He would have put them over the top against the Pacers if he was so good, right? Yeah, and he didn't. So don't give me, they didn't have Mitchell. Big deal, they didn't have Mitchell Robinson. We didn't have Darius Garland. The Cavs didn't have Darius Garland, who is one of the best point guards in the NBA. The Cavs didn't have DeAndre Hunter, who was in the top voting for Sixth Man of the Year last year. They didn't have Max Strus, who means a lot. Yeah, so you put those guys together with the Knicks. The Knicks were lucky. They got the Cavs early in the season when they aren't healthy. Let's see what happens when the Cavs are healthy. I think they play them 4 times, okay? Two in Cleveland now, 1 in New York. Obviously, we know on Christmas Day, there will be a bunch of Christmas miracles for the Knicks. The Knicks will be able to punch a Cav in the face, and the Cav will be called for the foul on Christmas Day. We know that's how it goes. Of course, New York people, that's not how it goes. We never get the calls. Yeah, sure you don't. The Knicks always get the calls. Whiny New Yorkers. I'm not whining here. I am calling out facts. What people have seen for decades in the NBA. Horrible officiating. Horrible officiating set toward one goal. New York and Boston winning. That's been their goal. And it was the same way in the WNBA when I covered the WNBA in the late 90s. The New York Liberty got all of the calls, and they still do. So don't tell me it doesn't exist. It absolutely is the 100% truth. And everyone who watches it knows it. ESPN's not going to call it out because they love when the Knicks win. They love when the Knicks win. Cavs didn't play great, though. Through the first, I'd say 2.5 quarters, the Cavs did not look good. They looked off. But I think this is going to be how it is early. They're trying to get used to some combinations. I'll tell you, I was impressed with that Tyrese Proctor came in and gave some minutes, right? Lonzo Ball, he played good. He shot 1 for 7. Okay, people are going to, I know how Cleveland fans are. One bad game and you're horrible. You're horrible. So, I'm sure Cleveland is about ready to, get the gallows ready for Lonzo Ball on public square because he had a bad game shooting-wise. The guy he didn't play for 2.5 years. Let's give the guy a break. But we know how Cleveland media is. I'm sure the radio talk shows in the morning will act like the Cavaliers are 0-82 after one win. They had one loss. They lost. Big deal. They lost the opening game. So what? So what? They'll play better. They played a really bad game. I think it's a terrible hire by the Giants, but okay. That's a terrible hire by the San Francisco Giants. Someone just asked me on TikTok if what I thought of that hire. I think it's a terrible hire. I think it's going to not work out for them. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But let me tell you something. What we saw tonight in New York was play into the crowd, play into the celebrities in New York, the celebrities who are no more important than you and me. They are no more important than you or me. They just pay more money for their seats so they can be seen and stroke their big egos. Okay? But that's what they play to. The NBA plays to them in New York. We got to please these rich people. We got to please these celebrities. You know, ESPN showing them every 5 seconds. Who gives a crap? And Ben Stiller looks like an old man who thinks he's a teenager. How about that? Ben Stiller, who I never thought was anything. I never thought this guy was worth crap. Okay? Big deal. Ben Stiller. You look like an aging rock star who did too many drugs with your fake hair. Okay? Big deal. I don't watch a basketball game to see celebrities. Who gives a crap about celebrities? I don't give a crap. You know? People are watching an NBA game to watch the game. Who gives a crap about the celebrities? Okay? Who cares? But ESPN loves that kind of garbage. It's typical ESPN. So the Cavs did not play well. If they had played well, they would have won that game easily. But you know, the fouls were. Let's tell you this. This is all you need to know. The Cavs didn't play great and lost by 8 points. Okay? They lost by 8 points. 119-111. Also, the help they received from the officials, the NBA officials. You can't find me, by the way. You can't find me. I don't work for you. The New York Knicks shot 36 free throws, and the Cavaliers shot 18. The Cavaliers were called for 25 personal fouls. The Knicks were called for 23. But you know how it goes. That 25-23 number, which the Cavs were called more, that's not even something that always matters. It matters when the fouls are called. And you know in the NBA, they're calling them or they're ignoring them at critical times. There was like a 3-minute period there where even the broadcasters thought the Cavs got the bad end of the deal on 4 calls within like 3 minutes. Oh, that's probably 8 points, right? That's probably 8 points. I think that's what that ended up, right? 8-point win for the Knicks. You know, I mean, I just think the NBA, they're never going to change. Doesn't matter who the commissioner is. You know, there have been stories of draft shenanigans. You know, let's put the card in the refrigerator. You know, David Stern, don't take that card that's cold. Save that for last. Save that so the Knicks get to pick. I believe that the LeBron James thing was set up. I mean, the NBA does this kind of crap. So how can we take them serious? And how can we say, who knows how this game will go? Well, they know how it'll go. It goes how they want it to go. Sometimes teams' talent will overcome it, and the officials can't change the game, but they do it. So don't tell me they don't. It's pure garbage. It's total pure garbage. And watching it tonight disgusted me. It just disgusted me. So, but the Cavs are 0-1. The sky is not falling, Clevelanders. The sky is not falling. The Cavs lost one game tonight. LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. I saw them both play. Someone just asked me on TikTok, is LeBron better than Michael Jordan? Absolutely he is. I saw them both play. I was, back, I had season tickets back when the Cavs and Bulls had the rivalry. He's absolutely better than him. He does more things. He doesn't have to shoot 58 shots a game to score 25 points. He's more physical. He's a better player. I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but that's my opinion. So, but I think the Cavs will, recover from this loss. They played Brooklyn on Friday night, and I think they will rebound. Brooklyn is terrible. They should easily, they should beat Brooklyn with no problem, the Brooklyn Nets. And the refs don't give the Brooklyn Nets calls because Brooklyn isn't the Knicks. Let's face it, they're not the Knicks. So they won't get the calls. The Cavs will get the calls. The Cavs will get the calls. But, I'm not making Junkins and Pickens for Derrick Henry. No way. I'm not making that trade. But, so the Cavs play, Brooklyn on Friday, and I think that'll be the Cavs' first win of the year. Then they come home. I'm going with the Njoku Sunday over Ertz. The Cavs will then come home Sunday and play the Milwaukee Bucks in the season opener at 6:00. So remember that, Cleveland sports fans. The Cavs, a winning team, plays on Sunday. The team that will not disappoint you throughout the season and make you question being a fan. The team that is successful more than they aren't. They play Sunday at 6:00 at Rocket Arena. Okay. But then they go to Detroit Monday for the first exclusive Peacock game ever. That will be Cavs and Pistons. That game will only be on Peacock. So I have to say tonight, I did enjoy watching the pregame, the Inside the NBA on ESPN with the guys, Shaquille O'Neal, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Charles Barkley, of course. It was great. It was so good. It just made me so happy that ESPN didn't change a thing. They didn't change a thing. That show was exactly the same. Kenny Smith even made fun of it, that it was so much the same. And it was great, So, and Charles lost weight, which I'm glad about. That's good. You want the guy to be in good health. You want him around forever, or as long as forever is for him. But that was a very positive thing tonight, watching Inside the NBA on ESPN. It was good. And I'm really glad that ESPN didn't screw it up like some of us thought they would. So, but that's it for tonight. Cavs lose 119, 111. No 15-game streak to start the year this year. They'll get back on track, though, probably, hopefully, Friday night. And so until I won't be doing a post-game Friday night with the game in Brooklyn because I have high school football to cover. But I will be doing a pre-game and a post-game Sunday from Rocket Arena, and I will probably be on between 4:30 and 5 with the pregame show after we will do the Kenny Atkinson press conference too on TikTok. So I'll probably be on with the pregame report between 5:30 and 6, somewhere in there. I would say more like 5:45, somewhere in that time. But you'll get an alert if you follow us on YouTube. You'll get an alert, and so follow us on YouTube. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Lake County Sentinel Podcasts on YouTube. Lake County Sentinel on Facebook. Sports Sentinel on Twitter. LC Sentinel.com on Twitter. You can also follow we're going to have WMA coverage when it starts too. You can follow that on Twitter. Our Twitter is Rockers WNBA. And so you follow us on all those. And here we are on TikTok. And we will see you on Sunday. And hopefully when we do the pregame, we'll be talking about the 1-1 Cleveland Cavaliers. So have a good night, everybody. Final score, Knicks 119, Cavaliers 111.